This story is titled, My Brother Got a Luxury Car for Graduation. I Got Stuck with Their Debt. Hi, everyone. Before we dive, a quick favor. If you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, supports the channel, and make sure you never miss out on amazing video. All right, let us get started. I never imagined I'd be the one to walk away from my family. I always figured I'd be the dependable son, the one who stuck around, helped out when needed, and stood by my parents through thick and thin. But funny thing about life, it has a way of revealing who people really are the moment money enters the picture. My name's Daniel, and I've got a twin brother named Jason. Growing up, things were never quite equal between us. Jason was the golden boy, athletic, well-liked, always getting praise like he could do no wrong. Me? I was the quieter one. Preferred books over basketball, computers over crowds. And it's not like I held it against him. I didn't. But deep down, I always knew who wore the favorite badge in our house. Even so, I never expected things to unravel the way they did. We both finished college at the same time, same school, same day. It was supposed to be a big moment for the whole family. Jason took the straight-laced route, got a business degree. I went a different way. I'd been freelancing online since I was 16, saving every dime, learning the ropes while my classmates were still figuring out email. By graduation, I wasn't rich, but I'd built up a solid savings, enough to breathe easy. The day after we walked the stage, my parents surprised Jason with a brand new BMW, sleek, shiny, the kind you see in commercials. He was bouncing like a kid on Christmas morning, wrapping them in hugs like they'd handed him the keys to a palace. I was happy for him. I really was. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't waiting for my turn. Not for a car. That's never been my style. A watch, maybe. A handwritten letter. Even just a simple, "We're proud of you," something. Then my dad handed me an envelope. At first, I felt that little jolt of hope, until I opened it. Inside was a bill. Line after line of expenses, numbers stacked together into one ugly total. I stared at it, confused. What's this? My mom gave me this cheerful little smile, like she'd just given me the world. It's only fair, Daniel. You've been saving for years. You've got money now, it's time to help out the family. My dad nodded in agreement. Jason hasn't been able to save yet. He'll need a little help getting started. But you? You're responsible. You've always had your finances together. They said it like it was some kind of honor. Like they were offering me the chance to pick up the check and call it love. I felt the blood drain from my face. This wasn't a gift. It was a transfer of burden, my reward for being dependable. They gave Jason a luxury car and gave me their debt. And the worst part? They truly thought that was fair. I looked over at Jason, hoping for a flicker of guilt, maybe even a, "Hey, this isn't right." But all he did was shrug. "Come on, man. You always say you don't care about money." That was the moment I decided I was done. I folded the bill, slid it back into the envelope, and took a slow breath. "Thanks," I said. "This really puts things in perspective." My mom lit up. "I knew you'd understand." I smiled back. Then I packed my things and walked out. No screaming. No scene. Just me leaving. They didn't stop me. I don't think it hit them. Not right away. But it would. Soon enough. 2 weeks passed. That's when the calls started. I ignored the first one. Then the second. By the third, my voicemail was full. Parents, Jason, even Aunt Karen. At first, they tried the light touch. "Hey, Daniel. Just checking in. Call us back." Then the messages grew sharper. "Why aren't you answering? We need to talk." And finally, desperate. "Please, Daniel. It wasn't what we meant. Just call us." But I didn't. I wasn't about to play along like nothing had happened. For the first time in my life, I was choosing me. That first week, I stayed in a cheap Airbnb in another city. I didn't have a plan, but I had my savings, and I knew I wasn't going back. By the second week, the panic started to seep through. Jason was the first to try again. "Dude, stop being dramatic. Just come back already." I blocked him. Then my mom switched tactics. "Daniel, sweetheart, we're struggling. You know we've always supported you. Can't you help us just a little?" Coming from the woman who smiled while handing me a bill instead of a graduation card? That was rich. Then, one evening, I saw an email from my dad. Subject line, "Please read this." I hesitated. But curiosity won. "Daniel, we're in trouble. We took out loans, thought we could handle them, but things are falling apart. Jason can't help. We thought you wouldn't mind. You've always been the strong one. We misjudged. I'm sorry, but we need you. Please call us." I stared at the screen. It was the closest they'd come to admitting fault, but it still wasn't an apology. They weren't sorry for how they treated me. They were sorry I'd left, and sorry Jason couldn't save them. All those years of putting him first, handing him everything, while I played the role of the quiet, responsible one. And now, when everything came crashing down, who did they come running to? Me. Because their golden boy had no gold left to give. I closed the email. No reply. Then came the call that made me pause. It was Aunt Karen. She'd always try to stay neutral, play peacemaker. For the first time, I hesitated before ignoring it. Finally, I answered. Daniel. Her voice was soft. Can we talk for a minute? I sighed. About what? About your parents. They're worried about you. Yeah, I said. But I think they're a little more worried about themselves. There was a long silence on her end. Please don't be like this, she said finally. They made a mistake. They thought you'd understand. They didn't mean to treat me like a backup plan. I asked. She didn't answer right away. They thought they could handle it. They always wanted to give Jason the best. They thought the car would be a nice graduation gift. They didn't think you'd leave over it. I let her words settle. But it didn't change a thing. They gave him a car, I said, bitterness creeping into my voice. And they gave me a bill. How is that okay? She was quiet for a moment. They didn't know how to show you they were proud. They assumed you'd be fine. But they see now they were wrong. I shook my head, though she couldn't see it. It's not just about that. It's about all the years I was invisible while Jason got handed everything. It's about how they never once said thank you when I helped, but had no problem asking when they needed more. I paused, then added, they didn't give me encouragement, or respect, or a place at the table. Just their mess to clean up. Karen was silent for a long time. They know they messed up, Daniel. They just don't know how to fix it. Please come home. Let them try. I didn't say anything for a while. The weight of everything sat heavy on my chest. Maybe, I said at last, but only if they prove they mean it. I'm not coming back for more empty promises. Karen let out a relieved sigh. Thank you, Daniel. I know this hasn't been easy. Before I could hang up, she added one more thing. There's something else. Jason called me too. He's been asking if you'll come back. He's not as indifferent as you think. I frowned. Seriously? He's actually worried about me. Yes, Aunt Karen said softly. But it's more than that. She paused before continuing. Jason's starting to realize what's really been going on. He's beginning to see everything you've done for the family, how much you've carried, how little he's appreciated it. I didn't know what to make of that. Jason, the golden boy, suddenly having a moment of clarity. It felt too convenient, too late. But maybe, just maybe, something had shifted. Still, I wasn't ready to go back. Not yet. But I had this nagging feeling, like the story wasn't quite done. And sure enough, the next conversation would hit me in a way I hadn't expected. A few days passed. I stayed holed up in my little Airbnb, working, thinking, replaying it all in my head. Still ignoring every call and message that came through. Then Thursday evening, my phone buzzed again. I didn't recognize the number, but something in me said to answer. Daniel. It was Jason. Yeah, I said flatly, keeping my tone cool. He didn't speak right away. When he finally did, his voice was shaky. Daniel, I'm sorry, but things got worse. Mom and Dad, they didn't listen. I tried, but they kept saying they'd figure it out. And now, he stopped for a second, then let out a breath. They sold the car. I felt a strange knot in my chest, somewhere between satisfaction and sadness. They sold it. I repeated, my voice colder than I meant it to be. Yeah, Jason said, voice cracking. They had no choice. The debt kept piling up. They couldn't keep up with the payments, so it's gone. They had to sell it to cover some of the bills. He went quiet again. I don't even know what to say, man. I leaned back in my chair, staring out at the window like it held answers. They'd handed him a car and shoved a bill in my hand. And now, that shiny, perfect gift was gone. Their decisions, finally catching up with them. Part of me wanted to gloat, rub it in, say, I told you so, and hang up. But instead, I let the silence sit for a while, until I finally spoke. You didn't have to lose it, Jason, I said, my voice firm. You should have seen this coming. You should have known they couldn't afford it. They always expect me to clean up their mess. And this time, I didn't show up with a mop. He didn't say anything. I warned them, too. I continued, my tone sharper now. When they gave me that bill like it was some kind of honor, I told them this would come back to bite them. And now it has. Jason's voice cracked again, desperate now. Daniel, please. I know this is messed up. We didn't want it to end up like this. They didn't mean to hurt you. None of us did. I paused. For a second, I let myself feel it. That weight, that pull toward guilt. But it passed. Because I remembered the looks on my parents' faces when they gave Jason that car. And the look on my mom's face when she smiled as she handed me that envelope. You know what, Jason? I said, my voice cold and calm. Maybe they needed to learn this lesson the hard way. Maybe if they'd been a little less blind, a little more thoughtful, they wouldn't be here now. I hope it stings. And just like that, Jason broke. I heard the sobs on the other end, loud, raw, and real. For a second, I almost felt bad. But then I remembered all the years of being second best. The times I'd stepped up and gotten silence in return. No, I didn't feel bad. I stayed quiet, let the tears come through the phone, then hung up. And for the first time in my life, I felt like the scales had finally started to balance. The days that followed were quiet. Peaceful, even. I kept to myself in that little Airbnb, working when I felt like it, ignoring everything else. I didn't need their drama. I didn't even check my phone unless it was for work stuff. In that freedom, it felt good. Like I'd finally taken my life back. Then came Sunday. My phone buzzed with another unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something in me said, no, pick up, face it head on. I answered, Daniel. My mom's voice cracked through the line, desperate and shaky. Please, can you just hear us out? I didn't say anything right away. I leaned back, exhaled slow. It had taken them this long to call me directly. And now, here they were on the other end of the line. Finally, Daniel, we know we messed up, she said. We never should have put that weight on your shoulders. We should have supported you, celebrated you, not handed you a list of our problems. Her voice broke. We're sorry. We really are. Please, come home. We'll fix it. We'll make things right. Just come back. I heard the plea. I heard the guilt. But I didn't feel moved. This was the same woman who spent my whole life telling me to be the responsible one, while handing Jason everything on a silver platter. The same woman who, instead of saying she was proud of me, had the nerve to give me a bill, like I was the family accountant instead of her son. Mom, I said slowly, letting the sarcasm hang in the air. You're sorry? Sorry for what, exactly? For buying Jason a car while sticking me with your financial mess? Is that what you're sorry for? Or is it just that you're upset now that the car's gone? Silence. I could practically hear the gears grinding in her head, trying to make sense of how it had all come to this. Daniel, we never meant for things to get this bad, she said finally, her voice cracking. Please, just come home. We'll do whatever it takes to make it right. You're still our son. We love you. I rolled my eyes, even though she couldn't see it. Hearing her beg now, after everything, felt almost sad. I'm sure you think you love me, I said, voice flat. But love doesn't erase years of being overlooked. You didn't think about me, not once, when you made those choices. I paused for a beat, and I don't need your apology. Not now. You should have thought about this before you handed me that envelope. There was another long silence. I could feel the heat rising in my chest, but I stayed calm. I'd gotten good at that over the years. I'm not coming back, Mom, I said evenly. You made your choices. Now you can live with them. I'm not your cleanup crew anymore. That's when my dad jumped in, his voice low, strained, and desperate. Daniel, please. We were wrong. We see that now. We didn't mean for it to go this far. We didn't want to push you away. I let out a short, bitter laugh. You didn't mean to push me away? I said. Really? You bought Jason a car, gave me a bill, and expected me to smile and say thank you. You didn't push me away. You kicked me out. Please, son, he said again, and I heard his voice tremble. We just wanted Jason to feel proud of graduating. We thought the car would do that. But it wasn't worth it. Not if it meant losing you. It was strange, hearing them this way. Desperate, defeated. The power was in my hands now, and they knew it. You're right about one thing, I said, my voice cold. You lost me. And you don't get me back just because you suddenly woke up and realized how bad you screwed things up. I let that hang in the air. I'm done, I said finally. So keep your apologies. Keep your guilt. And the next time you're planning a celebration, maybe ask yourself who you're leaving behind. Then I hung up. I stared at my phone for a while, the weight of that moment settling in. For once, I hadn't held back. I hadn't let them walk over me. They had taken me for granted for too long. And now they finally knew what it felt like to lose me. Their voices echoed in my mind, but this time, they didn't sting. They just sounded distant, small. Weeks passed after that call, and I didn't hear from them again. The silence was almost louder than the chaos that had come before it. I kept on with my life, working, resting, rebuilding. It felt good, like I was finally breathing clean air. Then one afternoon, a package showed up. It was from my parents. I stared at it, unsure if I even wanted to open it. But curiosity got the better of me. Inside was a folded-up letter, handwritten, the paper soft from being creased and unfolded too many times. Daniel, we don't expect you to forgive us. We know we hurt you. We see now that we've lost something more valuable than any car or gift. We lost you. But please know that we're sorry. And no matter what happens, we'll always love you, even if you never come back. Please don't forget that. I read the letter twice. But I didn't feel a thing. It wasn't enough. Not even close. I crumpled it up and tossed it in the trash without a second thought. And in that moment, I felt something better than revenge. I felt free. Jason had sent a few texts since then, too. Apologies, half-hearted explanations, trying to say he never meant to be in the middle of it. I ignored those two. He made his choice. Now he'd have to live with it. Life moved on. I kept building my business. Kept moving forward on my own terms. And I wasn't about to let anyone, especially not my family, drag me back into that mess. As for them, they'd have to live with their regrets. But I didn't have to carry the weight of those regrets anymore. The chapter closed, not with a bang, but with clarity. And it wasn't a tragic ending, it was a beginning. Sometimes, the only way to truly be seen is to walk away from the people who've refused to see you. And for me, that's exactly what this was, a new start. One I'd earned the hard way. At the end of the day, Daniel made a choice that most people are too scared to make. He stopped letting his family define his worth. He chose peace over pain, clarity over chaos, and himself over people who never truly appreciated him. Was it easy? No. But sometimes, the hardest path is the one that finally sets you free. So what do you think? Was Daniel right to walk away? Or should he have given them one more shot? Let us know in the comments, and if you want to hear more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next.